Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first are some strange orbs over eastern Pennsylvania. Also have this old video from 2012 about a news report of UFOs over Denver. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a great interview by, again, this guy Ross Coulthart. It's an hour and a half interview, but he's got a lot of great insight. Let's see. This is a video about some objects on the moon. Also have this little clip talking about how the Russians are able to get UFOs to show up whenever they do military exercises. And then I found this article here, which is recent. Royal Navy to deploy high-tech ship to fight Russian submarines in secret ocean war. Yeah, I think this is a cover story. I think they're most likely going to go hunt for our neighbors. Let's see. This is a video about finding tools that go back like 180,000 years, but definitely it upends the current belief about how people came across the Bering Strait and things like that. Let's see. Also have this article here from military.com about the TR-3B anti-gravity spacecraft, which are our anti-gravity crafts. And then last is this little video clip of what seems to show a ghost. I watched it. I couldn't figure out if it's like a camera anomaly or it's a ghost. I think it's a ghost. Anyways, let's go to this first video here. Let's check this out. Let me go full screen.
I fucking told you, dude.
What is that?
UFOs, man. I swear to fucking God. Open the front door. Open the front door. No, you're not going to get a better view. Come back here. No, you won't.
That's so scary.
Anyways, I don't want to play the whole video. You got to go to this guy's link. Check out his video. I'll leave a link in the description. Let me go to this clip here. Yeah, now this is from a CNN from 2012, but check this out. Let me go back a little bit here.
He captured the images on his digital camera from a hilltop in Federal Heights, looking south towards downtown Denver.
Mile High's right about here.
He says the flying objects appear around noon or 1 p.m. at least a couple of times a week.
You're going to see it come in from the top, do a little loopy-doop.
The strangest part is they are flying too fast to see with the naked eye. This is the video in real time.
Oof, see it? That was it.
But if you slow it down frame by frame, it's there. We altered the color contrast to help you see it. Here's another one in real time. This is what it looks like slowed down.
We wanted to verify that the video we saw was legit, so our photojournalist came out here with his camera. He set up in the same spot on 84th and Federal, and he shot video from just before noon until just after 1.
And when we slowed down our photographer's video, we saw this flying object.
I would consider myself an expert.
Aviation expert Steve Cowell is a former commercial pilot.
Anyways, these things are out there. They're out there all the time. And like I've said before, we're not alone on the planet. These have to be our neighbors. Maybe they're sending probes out to monitor us. But anyways, check that out. Let's go to, okay, yeah, now this video here, it's an hour and a half. I definitely can't play the whole thing. But yeah, Ross Coulthart, great journalist apparently. But he's, a person that I would consider a massive moron because he's a grown adult who is just now accepting the reality of UFOs. He's basically been one of these mindless sheep that was led to to ridicule and not take this this subject seriously. But just listen to what he has to say here.
And one of them actually suggested to me that I contact a guy called Chris Mellon, and this was back in late 2015. And I actually wrote to Chris Mellon, and he very kindly agreed to talk to me. And one of my great frustrations is we were literally a day from hopping on the plane to fly to do a UFO story with Chris Mellon for Australian 60 Minutes sometime in, I think, early 2017, well before the founding and the announcement of TTSA. And well before, by the way, the New York Times got the scoop with the Tic Tac video and all the other videos. And my then editor got cold feet. They weren't interfered with by Men in Black. They just got cold feet. And as they explained to me, they said, look, Ross, I'm just worried we're going to get ridiculed if we do this story. You know, UFOs is such a taboo subject. I really don't think we should be going there. I don't think we've got enough to justify doing a dig. And I remember saying, this is a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the United States Defense Department. And he wants to talk to me about how UFOs, UAPs, are a real thing and that we should, as media, be taking them seriously. I said, what's wrong with that? And ultimately, they chickened out. And it's a big issue. You've got to have a strong editor.
Yeah, you see, the person that chickened out, that made that decision, he's obviously being influenced by some unknown fear, like the notion that they would be ridiculed. Ridiculed by who? You know, I mean, the subject of UFOs is a very popular subject, and he even talks about it, you know, later on, how any time they do stories on UFOs, that the public eats that stuff up. You know, they get a lot of publicity and they get a lot of attention from that. And yet, you know, his leaders, you know, were the ones who would spike these stories. And he also talks about how even he knows that the idea of ridiculing the UFO stories was engineered by the CIA. Again, and even when he realizes and understands that reporters are being played, he still falls into this notion of like not using the term UFO. I mean, he says that, you know, he personally doesn't use the term UFO anymore because of the stigma attached to it. Like, who attached that stigma to it? You know, he's doing it himself without even realizing it. And, you know, this guy says, you know, well, I'm going to still use the term UFO because, you know, his podcast is called Podcast UFO. But yeah, I think it's amazing how even when, you know, massive morons like this guy knows that he's being played, he still falls into the trap of adhering to some unknown taboo, you know, like that he imposes on himself, like, oh, I'm not going to use UFO anymore. You know, I mean, if someone seriously, I'm the type of person, well, I'm going to stick my big, huge middle finger in your face and tell you to go fuck yourself. You know, and I think we as people have to take that attitude because it's the fear, this self-imposed fear that, you know, that people, again, take on to themselves that we need to, or, you know, I guess people who are sheep brains need to break out of. But anyways, I'm going to, that's enough of my pontificating. Let me move on to this next video here. Yeah, this video, very interesting. It basically shows you all of these different structures on Mars that, you know, that NASA claims doesn't exist. It shows this tower here. This is supposed to be 3 miles high. Talks about, let's see, this is the shard. You know, I sharded in my pants. Let's see, it's got that. Yeah, that's the shard again. And then in the end, oh yeah, he talks about here, there's just this castle. This is supposed to be huge too, a couple miles high. Here's like some kind of pyramid. Let's see. Yeah, more of these spirals. Look at this, in this opening here, the, you know, alien base, crater on the moon. Yeah, you know, and we got all these videos of we're seeing objects that are flying across the moon. So, you know, could this be like an entrance into the moon? There's that. There's like this thing here in one of the craters. Yeah, there's this opening here. And again, you know, this is very similar to an opening here in the Antarctic. But anyways, a lot of interesting stuff in this video. Let's see. Yeah, here this video talks about how the Russians know how to get UFOs to show up just by holding military exercises. Check out what this guy has to say.
Area of Vladimirovska, a place that hasn't been randomly picked because most UFO encounters were known to be drawn by dangerous spots where weapons of mass destruction were deployed. He states that because of this, the KGB didn't have to pursue UFOs anymore. They have instead learned how to summon them on their grounds.
We can say that we learned to summon UFOs in Vladimirovska.
Savin said in a news report.
To do this, we dramatically increased the number of military flights and movement of the equipment. If the intensity on our side increased, UFOs appeared with a probability of 100%.
The trials were subdued after about half a year of constant UFO summoning. The Russians concluded that science, at least back then, was unable to make a difference between a UFO and a conventional aircraft. At the best, and because of the constant threat of unfinished war, the otherworldly crafts would be confused with new technology tested by either the US or Japan.
Anyways, yeah, so it's obvious, again, you know, if the Russians want the UFOs to show up, they just hold military exercises. And do you honestly believe that when these UFOs show up, like he said, 100% of the time, that they're coming from another planet or another galaxy or another dimension? Or, you know, I mean, some of these people keep saying, oh, they're us in the future. No, they're not. Yeah, no, they're not. They're our neighbors, and they're monitoring us. And again, I posted this. I've talked about this before, but I brought that up because I wanted to show how, right now, it's going on. Royal Navy to deploy high-tech ships to fight Russian submarines in secret ocean war. Again, if you know anything about the Bohemian Grove, you know that all of this stuff in the newspapers and our media, it's all theater, right? All, the richest people in every single country, they all get along. And, this notion that, of creating war, it's just to keep money flowing into the military-industrial complex. And also, I think to monitor our neighbors. And, there's a reason why the U.S. military has bases all over the planet. And it's not to monitor, other countries. It's so that our military can be anywhere on the planet when one of these UFOs crashes. Or, I don't know, maybe they shoot them down. But, yeah, that's definitely going on. Anyways, check out that article. Let's see. Yeah, let me play this here because this talks about these people that found these tools that go back like 180,000 years or something like that.
Much more easily accessible. Within these deposits were rocks that revealed numerous tools. But not just any tools. These tools are 200,000 years old. And according to what we know about ancient human habitation in the Americas, they simply should not exist. Naturally, ever since the discovery, the site has become known as the most controversial archaeological site in the Western Hemisphere. The dates are based on the age of the sediments containing the stones, which were most recently dated by thermoluminescence at 135,000 years BP, and by uranium-thorium analysis at 200,000 years BP. In tests carried out at the University of California in Los Angeles, carbon-14 results gave an age greater than 50,000 years. How is it possible that tool-making humans were in the Americas up to 187,000 years earlier than the accepted arrival date for the first Americans, who supposedly crossed the Bering Land Bridge from Asia before migrating southward around 11,000 BC?
You notice the question he asked, how is it possible, right, that these people, when, again, based on established evidence or knowledge, well, it's because the established knowledge is wrong. You now have new evidence that shows that what you previously thought is wrong. So the simplest thing to do is to just change what you thought, change what you believed based on, the current evidence that you found. Again, I don't understand why these scientists, right? And some of these academics just refuse to change their mind if they come up with new evidence. But anyways, check out that link there. Oh yeah, this is from military.com. Talks about the TR-3B, our anti-gravity spacecraft. Let me check out this little video here. Well, that's that. Again, I want to just point out the things that we're seeing in our skies. It's not just one thing. It's multiple, right? There are our neighbors. There's definitely a few who are visitors coming from other dimensions, other galaxies, other planets. And then some of them are our military. And I also think even, within that, there are separate divisions or separate groups that possess, this type of technology, but then aren't necessarily related. Like, there definitely were people in our military, and then there's, like Richard Dolan talks about the breakaway civilization. I think those people are separate from our military, and they do their own thing. But anyways, check out that article. And then last, well, yeah, this is kind of freaky. I'm gonna say, let me go full screen. You're gonna see what appears to be a ghost. Watch when this camera pans over in the hallway. You'll see something freaky.
Go. Oh, you almost got it. You almost got it. I sound like a smoker. Holy fuck.
Let me play that again. Did you see that?
Go. Oh, you almost got it. You almost got it. I sound like a smoker. Holy fuck.
See, now when she goes back, you notice that there's, let me go back a little. Right there. You're right. There's nothing, there's not like anything on this wall that would have created, what looked like a shadow. Let me go back. Let me see if I can catch that thing. Oh yeah, look at right there. You see that black? Like what would create that black shadow? Unless it's a ghost. Yeah, see, that looked like a girl in a white dress with black hair. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.